40 FPS. God damn it.
That was a whole saga. That was funny.
Dude, have you been? There's this guy on Twitter who's like making all these Twitter Ball Z videos.
Yeah, I seen
Dude,
one of them with
they're fucking. Oh, should probably put Xbox Game Pass PC.
It doesn't matter. It's the same shit, right?
What do you mean it's the same shit? It ain't. No.
Xbox Game Pass is Xbox Game Pass is Xbox Game Pass. I know they got this bullshit called PC Game Pass. It's just an anemic version of Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If it does go to PC Game Pass, it's not going to Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah,
you know
yeah. I mean, but at that point, why not then? It doesn't make sense to go to even Xbox Game Pass. That shit should just go to, PlayStation Plus for PC or some shit like that.
The only thing that I think that would be interesting if they did was if they made it like you could play it on the cloud.
See, if it's cloud enabled, then you would be able to essentially play it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if they did it on the cloud, you could, I guess, essentially pull it up on your phone and play it. But would you probably still wouldn't be able to play it on your Xbox.
Yeah, but see, my thing is, right, if you're going to put it on, because you got to think, all right, so PlayStation technically controls that. Even though I know 505 Games is the publisher of the PC version and whatnot, it's still a PlayStation IP, right?
Yeah.
So they should have like control of where it goes, right? PlayStation has no problem publishing a game on PC, so I'm still surprised that 505 had to be the publisher for it to even go on PC though. That makes no sense, given that PlayStation's push for PC, right?
Yeah.
But when you say if PlayStation is willing, if this game is free to literally go on PC, not PC, but PC, Xbox Game Pass for PC or PC Game Pass, if it's literally free to go there, then what's really stopping you from putting it on actual Xbox itself? I mean, the game didn't sell anything; it sold like shit for a Kojima game, right? And obviously, it's only helped that it's on PC, and now they're willing to put it on Game Pass. And this is from PlayStation, who has like an anti-Game Pass clause, and this is essentially a first-party, IP. So I that's why I don't believe it's actually coming to Game Pass, and I think that's honestly because Hellblade's scenery looked similar, right?
I know Hellblade's scenery looks similar, but that shit looks like it's pulled straight from Death Stranding.
Yeah, unless they're trolling.
And why would they only use a Hellblade scenery for the PC Xbox Game Pass account and not change the console Xbox Game Pass.
Fair enough. That's absolutely a fair point. I just don't want people to get their hopes up talking all that shit.
Well, no,
I be like, freaking,
I don't have my
not you in general. I'm talking about like our peers and shit like that online. But the thing is, I'm looking at it, it's gaining traction on all these websites, right?
Yeah. Well, because it is interesting if it does happen. Like,
yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Because that'd be like the first time we've seen something like that happen, where like it is straight up not like MLB, right?
Yeah.
MLB had to come to Game Pass because MLB published it and they said, hey, this has got to go multi-platform or you're going to lose a license. So Sony didn't really have a choice in that matter. Where like with Death Stranding, that's a Sony IP, it's owned by it, but like I wonder if there's loopholes in the PC version that allows 505 to be able to put it in other services.
Bro, like
they could have something. Dre, you should. I see Dre's in the chat. You should hop in, Dre.
You go ahead and hop in, Dre. Even 3-bit too. Shout out to 3-bit.
I got smoke for you, Dre.
Even 3-bit. If you're available, you can come through.
I got smoke for everybody this week.
Is Dre like banned off Twitter or something like that?
Huh?
Is Dre banned off Twitter? His Twitter page wasn't available for like.
Wait, he got banned?
What?
I don't know.
He might have. Hold on. What's it say? I know. I guess I haven't been seeing his shit in a while, so I wonder.
Whoa, Dre, what happened to you? You got shadow banned on Twitter, bro? What's going on?
Or he might have just closed his account for a little bit. You know how some people do that.
What's it, man?
What's it say?
Shadow room.
If it says that, is that him?
Yeah, I closed it.
Yeah.
You closed it?
Closed it, Dre. I miss you, buddy. Like, come on. Usually on my side over here. I need you.
What happened, bro? Mental health issues?
No. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, we can hear you, Dre.
Nah, man, I'll just. Okay, cool.
Taking a break.
Echo, though. Hold up, it might be on my end.
Yeah, I don't see anybody. Yeah, I think it's yours. Yeah. Make sure you got the stream muted.
Right. Oh yeah. Say something, somebody.
Yo.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure you guys.
Hello.
Muted. All right, cool.
Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. What's up, Dre? How you doing, man? I miss you. You get back on that Twitter.
And I hear y'all folks, man.
Man, what is this man doing? He just learned how to pull it. What's your output at, Dre? Dre, what's your output at?
I'm friends with 3-bit on freaking Twitter, right? I'm gonna send him the link. There you go.
That's why.
You probably had that. You probably had that shit set to like he didn't have that output set right.
I tell my homies that all the time.
Dre, you there?
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, you sound way better now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. There we go.
Hey, there he is. Finally.
What's happening?
We need to know what happened, man. You shut down Twitter. You shut down your Twitter, but why? You all right? You good?
I had to shut it down, man. The game community is. It just ain't what I wanted it to be. Fuck,
man, come on, Dre, you need to come back. I'm not supposed to bullshit with you.
What is it? Was it about The Last of Us, Spider-Man? What's up?
Nah, it's just niggas don't play games.
Bro, I know who you're talking about. It's all right. I know.
It's just,
and it's too much infighting, right? It's too much infighting within the Sony community.
So much bull, so much drama, so much bullshit. I'm like, I'm taking a 21-day cleanse, man. You know
21 day. That's
a vacation, man. That's why I recently took a vacation. I wasn't on. I posted, but I wasn't like reading shit on Twitter like that recently. So
Twitter does. It's been wild lately, and
it's been whack.
We got a point where guys like there is literally Twitter Ball Z, and this dude's making YouTube videos of like 1 minute little updates of what's going on and what's going to happen in the next episode, and it's fucking wild, dude. Like, especially this week. This week had some crazy stuff going on.
It's just the fuckery, man. I love the fuckery. It's just like it's so entertaining to watch from afar. I'm not dipping my toes in that shit, but
it was entertaining in the beginning, like when the shit was first starting. But it was every day something stupid.
Oh, it's all the time. Every morning there's a Twitter space and then some bullshit pop off.
niggas not playing games. So I was like, why am I communicating with
Brother.
y'all when y'all don't do what I do? So it's like
Yeah.
no point really. So that's really it though. Ain't
A
nothing
lot of
to
them
it.
don't game like we do, Dre.
That's a fact. That's
I
a
know.
fact.
What are you up to? Because I knew you were getting.
I'm
You're like
at,
right behind me.
Yeah, well, shit, Cyberpunk, man, that took
No, that
50
that game
50
takes.
hours of my life, man.
Yeah, I
So,
played. My playthrough of Cyberpunk was like 94 hours. Yeah, that game will
Yeah.
stink
but
a
that
lot
game,
of your time, but it's good. It's good.
it's a good
Yeah, I
game.
gotta finish
I
that game.
can't even front on you. It's a good game.
What
It's
did
a
you
good
like about
game.
it?
So like CD, they killed killed meaning they did a great job with the world building, like just making the city feel alive.
Mhm.
I thought they did a great job with that. I liked the side characters. I liked the side missions.
Yeah.
Um, uh, 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 um, I threw a review up on the channel.
I would have known had you tweeted this shit out because you know
Yeah,
YouTube doesn't.
That's true.
YouTube doesn't respect subscription notifications.
Yeah.
YouTube's been acting up. It's been really weird.
And
For
I
other
like
things.
the customization. I like the gameplay. You know, the
Overall
guns feel
environment
yeah,
is good too.
guns feel great. Environments look great. So yeah, I think it's a dope game, man. I liked it a lot. I'm going through my platinum run right now, so I'm like 6 trophies away from that. So
Right. Nice.
Nice. Shout out to 3-Bit. What's up? Welcome to the Planet Xbox.
Yeah, I don't think I've been on this show before.
No,
It's
never.
nice.
This is a first.
Yeah, but things are going well. Good to see everybody on here. I watch the show occasionally when I'm working. You know, I'm actually working right now, so Like- be in and out.
No, fair enough. Fair enough. Appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, I saw you in the chat. Like I said, like, oh, that's 3-Bit. Like, let me see if you get in here. So we're pretty light on it. We sort of just started a conversation about this whole Death Stranding. I saw you mentioned that it's going to Game Pass. It could go to Game Pass because it's published by 505. Do you think that really has like every like the reason behind it? Because like unlike MLB, technically Sony doesn't own MLB. They just own the developers that make it. But it's not their IP. It's not their license, right? But Death Stranding technically it's Sony's IP. It's Kojima's. His studio makes it, but I think it's credited as a PlayStation SIE Interactive like published game or something like that, or not published game, but like an IP.
correct.
So I'm just weird because I still can't get over the fact that that's a possibility, and I think they're just trolling, and it's literally a different game. But people obviously believe that this is like legit.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, someone did just like find that same rock that's in there in Death Stranding.
Yeah, someone found like basically the same location. So
Yeah.
I believe it's real. I think it's really weird because this would be the first case scenario that I could think of, besides like MLB. I think with Kojima, because he's not necessarily underneath PlayStation, there might be some weird rights there, like maybe for consoles. Like you can't put it on consoles, but they never said anything about the ports. Like maybe there was something in the contracts there that could make this possible. I do think that with 505 publishing it makes it possible to go on Game Pass, and we'll see. I mean, we seen that was an official account, right? That was
it is the official account.
It's the official PC Game Pass account, and it looks exactly like Death Stranding. Like I know it's a little blurry, but someone found the same location. Like I think Old Man was saying.
And didn't they?
Go ahead.
Didn't they update the image with like rain or the little rain? Because they changed the photo again, but this time it features like I think rain, like the strand rains or something like that.
I can look at it.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up real quick here and see if I see anything.
I
But
hope it
Yeah,
does.
I think it's real. I think it's real. I think it's real fake.
yeah,
I'll
it's
believe
got.
it.
I mean, it's got the. I mean, it's got the rain, but I'm like I do think it's a legit thing. Like
Yeah, I just think because
it's
they're
like-
not necessarily a PlayStation studio, it leads me to believe that
Yeah.
there could be a way for them to bring it to.
well,
to Game
like
Pass.
you just think like how Forspoken is. Forspoken's coming to PC and it's gonna have Xbox achievements.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
waiting
it's
for.
not gonna come. It's not coming to console. It's only coming to PC.
Mhm.
So like, there's another game that's gonna be exclusive to the Sony console itself, but you could get Xbox Live achievements for it. Like you can log in, use your Xbox
That's
account.
different though. That's different.
Well,
'Cause Sony doesn't own that.
Yeah, they don't own that. They actually.
Well, I'm just
Square
I'm just
Enix
using it like as an
title.
example, like of how much like out of the realm certain things can go. Because I mean, to me, I find that weird for Forspoken that
Yeah,
you can technically get it, via Microsoft and via Xbox.
yeah, I'm
But
definitely.
you just can't get it on.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Xbox
play it.
exclusive.
I'm literally gonna play it on PC, pretending that it's Xbox. Like, I just don't want to pay 70 beans for it. I'm just hoping that it's I can get it like,
Let's get a key.
a key before it
70,
releases.
70 games have not been $70 games have not been doing
Well,
as
At
well.
all.
Yeah,
At
so
all.
we'll
And
see.
I had a thought to do a video about that because I'm still trying to find a game that I think is worth $70.
Yo, Dre.
I haven't found
That's
it yet,
remember that was
so-
a question on LTG podcast. I posed that question to you.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember I said, hey, I was like, it was in 2021. I was like, yo, has there been a game that's been worth $70 for this new next gen price? I was like, and I doubled down on the argument. I was like, in fact, I played more games at $60 that are better than every game that released at $70. So it's crazy that a whole year, even after that, there's still you haven't identified a game, and you paid a lot more for games at $70 than I have. So
Yeah, I still haven't found it, and 60 frames doesn't justify it for me. This is just my opinion. 60 frames doesn't justify the price hike, especially when the games look identical to their PS4 counterparts. So,
yeah.
nah, I'm not seeing it just yet.
No, and I mean it brings in a whole other conversation too. For a while, their reasonings for even increasing the games to that 70 initially was the next gen patch, right? In the beginning, they're like, this is the next gen patch of games, and then you had the PC versions of those games be cheaper, and you're like, well, it's better performance over there, so why are you charging for a next gen patch?
I agree with that. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. So I never really thought it was worth $70. It gets into a weird conversation because you're like, oh well, value is subjective, right?
Right.
But to me, it's really not worth it. Maybe that's
Well,
just me.
if you let some of these people tell you, apparently the cost of development is so exponential now that they have to recoup the cost, even though they're gaming's at an all-time high, and they're making record profits on these games. Cost of development, man. You have to take that into account.
I would agree with that if these were next gen only titles.
Yeah.
But because these are cross gen titles, that's why I can't really fly with this whole upcharge to $70. So
It's not only like I don't necessarily agree with like it, yeah, games are making breaking profits for sure, but and they're also adding like more monetization in games than ever before. So it's even more so than previous generations where you buy the game, and PlayStation does have that sort of mindset of releasing like single player games, and then they are very focused on like getting money that way. At least they're starting to slowly implement like their version of like Game Pass and stuff, but most like profits do come from monetization, like microtransactions and stuff like that, which to me, I'm like, okay, if your game is making way more than ever before, then why are you you're charging $70, especially Last of Us, right? I feel like you probably talked about this on your show, but Last of Us is a whole other conversation where it's like you're charging a remake of a remaster, and that's
with cut content.
yeah.
cut
I mean, you're charging for like a graphic thing at that point because you're taking out features as well. So it gets into a really weird conversation of like, what do you value at $70? If the market is making way more than it has before, then you're kind of just saying like, well, I just want more money, and that's what it is at the end of the day. Like, these companies just want even more of your money. It has nothing to do with the gaming market as a whole. At least I am a game developer, but I don't go into the whole marketing analytics side of the industry. But that's just my belief.
No, I mean, good. Those are good points. And I agree. As far as something posted, I don't know who it was, if it was Jaffe or Panther, right? A lot of people made fun of Xbox, right? Saying like, they're gonna go third party, right? And they're gonna kill the box, the third party. Is there a case now? I don't think PlayStation's gonna kill their box, but is there a case where PlayStation's actually could actually go third party? Because when you consider their mod, and because PlayStation's in a weird spot, right? They're in a weird.
My fault. Go ahead.
No, go. Well, all right. So the thing is, I think they're in a weird spot for the simple fact that, obviously PS4 generation was like, they done well, and the PlayStation 5 is honestly being carried off the strength of what PlayStation 4 done. But they're in a situation where their consoles are selling, but they can't meet demand. They don't know if they should put out the games because there's not enough stock, there's not enough supply out there, right, for people to actually buy the software. So their exclusives aren't performing as they were. If you're not named Spider-Man or Miles Morales, you're not going to sell that well, at least not for a while. And now it's literally pushing them to put these games out on PC and quicker so they can get like a bigger player base, a upfront cost to keep longevity in the pricing, because now they can release these games on PC and they can go at what, $50-$60, right? Versus, relying on marking these games all the way down to $20 so they can sell on like the consoles. So my thing is, and we're already 2 years into the console life cycle. This fall will be 2 years. And PlayStation's at this point where they can't generate all that amount of money from their games. And these games could cost money. Like Horizon Forbidden West, believe it or not, they're not happy with Horizon Forbidden West sales. It didn't sell that well. For Horizon Forbidden West in their quarterly meeting, I think when they revealed that they're exclusive, I think that included Horizon Forbidden West and Gran Turismo combined sold 6 million. Which, I mean, it's not. I don't think 6 million or 3 million each is bad for any of them, but it's like compared to, these are like 20 million sellers, right? Zero Dawn's what, a 20 million seller or 10 million seller? What is Zero Dawn? I know Spider-Man and
20 million.
Okay, yeah, see, so these are like 20 million sellers, and then God of War, obviously a big seller. They probably are on edge about Ragnarok because it's not going to. I'm not saying it's not going to sell. It's going to sell for compared to how many PlayStation 5s that are out there and PS4s. But then again, how many people are actually still buying on PS4? You got to think majority of the PS5 owners have upgraded to PS4 owners have upgraded to PS5, right? So the sales are naturally going to decrease there. So
I wouldn't say majority of PS4 has migrated to PS5.
Not majority. It can't really, but if you think about the as a whole, right? There's 117 million PS4s that were sold, right? The hardcore majority of the hardcore PS4 users had to have an upgrade at this point, like the actual gamers, right? The casual market probably not, because they can't find it. They can't get it. So the thing is, God of War 2018 came out in the middle of the prime of the peak of PlayStation 4. So those Ragnarok is not going to reach those sales anytime soon. It'll probably have a good start. Like obviously your normal, it's probably going to sell this many in the first 3 days, right? But overall, I'm just curious to see how it compares. Like compares to like the Horizons and the Gran Turismos, where you know they came out, you wait a couple of days, see if PlayStation puts out their their sales record, like, oh, this did that and the third, right? With every release on the PS4, I think up until Death Stranding or Days Gone or whatever, every game had one of those PR posts of them breaking records in a matter of 3 days, right? Ghost of Tsushima did it. The Last of Us Part 2 did it. God of War, Spider-Man, of course. Even original Horizon Zero Dawn. So are you like, do you have any concerns about like Ragnarok's potential sales? It's coming out this November, and compared to the PlayStations that are out, I feel like PlayStation's in a weird situation where they might have to put that game out on PC sooner than even they would want to.
Maybe this is why I would like when you know the NPDs come out. I would like for the separation to see the PS4 versus the PS5 numbers instead of them just doing them all in one, because you really don't know what sold on which console, which one sold the most on which console. So, but I don't know, man. I think personally, Ragnarok is going to sell well. I think it's a good, like, if they sell like 5 to 7, maybe first couple months or whatever. I don't know how they're going to report it, but if they come out like, okay, we sold 5 to 7 million first couple months, I think that's a good start. I definitely think that's a good start. So,
if it doesn't do super well, Sony usually takes a while for them to say the numbers until they bundle it.
Yeah, if they don't say nothing within the first
don't
3
say
or 4
nothing,
days,
then-
you know something's up. I still think Ragnarok is gonna sell well. Like, that's arguably the most anticipated game of the entire year, is that game coming out. Even to the point where you have fanboys out here sending dick pics to developers trying to get that release date. So
it works. It's sad to say, but we got that release date pretty fucking quick.
People are going crazy for this game. Like, I think it's gonna sell, and then like you have Christmas like the next month, so whoever doesn't get it day one, your parents or your significant other or sibling, whoever is gonna get you the game for Christmas, because they know you mess with the game. So it's gonna go crazy.
I think it'll even sell well even on PS4, just in general.
Yeah, even on PS4, because they'll be like,
I know, I feel like Horizon Forbidden West, a lot of people were waiting to play that on PS5, but I think God of War is going to sell pretty decent on PS4.
But why do you think that? Because Horizon, pretty much based off how successful Zero Dawn was, Forbidden West it's in the same position as God of War. It's coming out on both platforms, right? It should have done pretty much what Last of Us 2 did on PS4 immediately, after obviously how big the first game was. And
here's the difference.
Over time,
I'm gonna tell you the difference right now. God of War is literally the flagship IP of PlayStation.
Is it? Or is it just became that with the 2018 release?
It's been huge. Like,
always been the flagship IP.
I don't know. I think y'all living in prisoner in the moment, bro.
No,
I've never recalled
God of War 1.
I never recalled God of War being the big fish of PlayStation during that first trilogy. Absolutely not.
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
When God of War 2 and God of War 3 came out.
Okay.
They even did prequels on the PSP. They even put that shit out on the PSP. Full-fledged games.
But see, y'all talking about back on the PS2, PS3. Okay,
it wasn't that popular on the PS2. I'm sorry.
It was.
It was not, bro. I actually.
What was the most popular game around I can't even remember.
Bro, that was huge on PS2.
Was it?
It wasn't that huge, bro. It was not that huge. Sure, it scored well, but it was not that. You got to think about the PS2 had a lot of bangers, but at the end of the day, God of War was not what God of War 2018 obviously was bigger for the PS4 than any of the God of Wars was for the PS2.
Wasn't like Gran Turismo? I honestly can't remember. I actually do want to look this up, but I know Gran Turismo was huge.
My overall point
according
is
to
that
a quick Google search,
God of War is more popular than Horizon.
Well,
Okay.
of course,
Yeah.
right?
That's my
Yeah,
whole point.
that's fair. But we're
So
going
it's
based
got-
off
by
God of War
virtue-
2018.
By virtue of that, God of War Ragnarok is going to sell well and it's going to sell better than Horizon. I honestly think a lot of people weren't checking for Forbidden West this year the same way they were checking for Ragnarok. Ragnarok had way more hype around it than Horizon.
Oh, hold on.
Horizon's a
Hold
good
on.
game. Don't get me wrong.
Smooth might be on to something.
On the what?
According to a Google search. Now, okay, this is according to Google.
Sources say
Right. The first God of War on PS2 sold 4.6 million copies.
Yeah, that
And-
was a new IP. What was
Was
God of
this
War
a
2?
shit on
What
a
was
P-
that?
hold up. God of War 2 sold less at 4.24 million.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that makes sense. Right? So
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. So around that time, what was the flagship PlayStation IP? Was it like Gran Turismo?
Honestly,
Probably like Ratchet and
yep,
Clank or something.
either
Ratchet and
Gran
Clank?
Turismo, but honestly though, a lot of people bought,
That-
PS2s and whatnot for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft. That was
You
the
know what I
Grand
mean?
Theft Auto era. Like,
Mhm.
GTA, Dragon Ball Z.
So I don't know. Smooth
DVD
might-
player.
Yep.
I guess
mean,
for this
yeah.
generation, like I could see God of War selling better than Horizon and also
Yeah.
Last of Us.
No,
You think
see,
Last of Us Part 1?
that's what I think is the marquee title for PlayStation as of right now is The Last of Us. In
Oh,
my
really?
opinion, yeah.
So, so you think the remake will make like more than God of War?
No.
it
But-
shouldn't because because at that
because of
point,
the-
game, but I say that because it's the most awarded franchise in history.
Yeah, but it's
So,
also the most divisive as well. Like we
Yeah.
in here, we like the game, but there's a lot of other people who didn't even play the game who hate the game. And that's not the same case for God of War.
That's true.
That's why I'm saying God of War is the flagship, because God of War literally has the attention of everyone, whether you like the franchise or not. There's not enough. There's not enough.
too, though, man.
There's not the stigma and vitriol attached to that game. Like me, I don't think it's justified the kind of rap that Last of Us gets, honestly. But it is what it is. People feel how they feel about the game.
If we're going back to the original question, which was like, does PlayStation need to sell or like become a third party platform based on the success? I think
They're going to. In my opinion.
maybe I think they're going to, but just because right now I think their business is a little outdated, like in terms of how they project sales for just like their version of success is a console sales and also game sales, less so than like microtransactions and services. Like their focus is more on that, and I think honestly the future is that, and you could kind of see how they are trying to get into that arena based on like what their new PlayStation service and also the leaked contracting stuff that has been going around, where they were saying like how they're basically mad about the Activision deal. Essentially, yeah. I mean, I think services is always going to make more money, and Xbox, I think they have a really good head start on that. And not to say that PlayStation won't. I just think that because Sony, I mean, someone could correct me on this, is like $180 billion in debt. I don't know if they can necessarily keep affording to just rely on just game sales and console sales. So it's either they're going to pivot and then just really hammer down on creating really good services similar to Game Pass, or they'll start to really rely on like PC, because that's where they're going to start getting a lot of money. So I don't know.
That's where I was going, because if Sony is, if they're liking these numbers, that they're seeing on PC, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't see why they would stop, releasing games on PC anytime soon. Of course, they said the whole slate is coming, so I think we all know what that means. But If they're liking those numbers, and I mean, no harm, no foul. I don't see why they would stop putting games on PC. And plus they're coming out with their live services games too, which is going to be microtransactions out the ass. So you know that.
And those live service
yeah.
games, just piggyback, and I'll let you finish. My bad. Those can't be exclusive to the console.
No, they already said
based
that those
off
are
their
gonna be PC.
yeah, based off their goals with live service games. I actually, and this is gonna sound, people are gonna look at me crazy, and this is why I'm even asking the question. I think when you consider Bungie and the 10 live service games, I actually think those games are all like true multi-platforms, like they could actually release on Xbox and even maybe Nintendo.
Most likely, that's a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. Bungie already has a good blueprint with Destiny 2, and it generates a lot of revenue from them. So if they can do the same thing with other IPs and other titles and make them multi-platform PC and Xbox, that's going to generate PlayStation a lot of revenue. It's the same point that we make about COD. Like keep COD multi-plat, because Microsoft is going to bank in on all that money off of those sales and microtransactions.
Microsoft they about to go stupid with this money, man. When they from Call of Duty, man.
Oh yeah, that's a cash cow.
That's about to look crazy, dog.
Every quarterly earnings. Oh man, our battle pass numbers are insane.
That's
especially if Modern Warfare 2 hits, is how big it's looking like it's gonna hit.
Yep.
So even with that, but I still think Microsoft, even though it sounds like I'm making it sound like doom and gloom for Sony, but I do think Xbox needs to be worried at PlayStation's approach to PC, because they come in hard. We see the paperwork for their with their intent for a launcher, and obviously that's going to drive a lot of PlayStation users, because obviously if they have their own launcher, they're going to have their own login, and they're going to probably have trophy support, right? And if their launcher is even remotely better than the Xbox app or Microsoft Store for like games and stuff like that, it's a wrap. And the thing is that Microsoft has so many. The thing is, gamers from a gaming standpoint, gamers do not like the Xbox app or the Microsoft Store, the PC gamers, because it doesn't give them the freedom and the flexibility. They always have like these different sort of like bugs or errors that occur that just shouldn't happen. And it seems like Microsoft hasn't really been paying attention, or at least acting upon it. So if you let PlayStation, who's on this tirade, putting their games on PC, and these are obviously quality games, and every game that they put on PC is going to feel fresh and new, and then they get enough of their library, they get it. Eventually they're getting all their library if they're planning on coming out with their own launcher. That can put a hamper on Xbox's pitch to PC, because obviously Xbox have their app they've been pretty much sitting on. They got Play Anywhere and whatnot. PlayStation's looking to introduce something similar where they will be able to have cross-buy support. I think with that, until they should really either fix their store to whoever they need to do to fix their store or make their store more attractive or more PC gamer friendly, or do something with Steam where they partner with them. That's something that would enable some sort of cross.
Had such an advantage, over the years. Like, you had so many years of like feedback on your app, and you still haven't gotten it right. Like that doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. And it's like, it doesn't take that much for you to make a better application than Microsoft at this point in terms of having your own launcher and PC, because look at it. Like, Microsoft is a software company. You're supposed to have a good launcher. And you still don't have a good one. Then when Sony comes out of nowhere and has their shit, people are just going to be on there. Especially once they do the PS Plus integration with that, and you can have the PS Plus titles on there, and you can natively download games instead of it being straight cloud. Microsoft needs to be prepared for this, honestly.
Yeah,
they have to have an answer for it.
Yeah, I think and the thing is that the last two publishers that have, I think about them, Bethesda, I know they closed it down, but that's still resources they can use. Bethesda had their own launcher, which was what, Bethesda.net, or was it Battle.net? Or what was it? Bethesda, and then Activision has their own launcher, which is Battle.net, right? What is Activision's PC launcher before they started?
Battle.
So
Yeah.
those are things that they really don't have to like, close down or stuff like that. I know they're in Activision is just now starting to put their stuff on like Steam and whatnot, but those are resources that are all probably better. And I can't really say this truthfully because I haven't used anything other than Steam and Xbox on my PC. I mean, I think I don't even know if I redeemed a game off Epic Game Store yet, but like those are probably better because I don't hear nobody talking about these other launchers, but they probably offer something that the Xbox app
It's much
doesn't.
functional.
Yeah, so I'm like I would leverage those easily.
Yeah, I mean it's hard because Steam is pretty much it's always going to be in a position where a lot of PC players prefer Steam, just because it's had years and years of a head start on features, and Valve is a very good company in a way where they actually listen on making that app as stable as it can be. So it's definitely the most stable PC gaming app out of all the others, pretty much. It's weird because they really need to polish it up for sure. I think Xbox sometimes needs a little push when it comes to like some features. And we'll see. We'll see. It's hard to say that PlayStation would even have a better app or something like that because they're kind of weird with like features as well.
I mean, but even if you look at their mobile app, like their mobile app is superior to the Xbox app, even on that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it
Okay.
past me if they had a better like PC launcher than the Xbox launcher.
Yeah. So
If
we'll
they like
see.
really committed to that.
I think once they launch that, I think it'll definitely be a contender. I think with Game Pass is what Xbox is definitely leaning on. I think when these games do come out, it'll help, but they need to definitely polish up the app as well. And this is my opinions. I have to I have to say that because I'm technically an employee, but like I have to say that these are my opinions.
Oh, you're an employee of
Wait, with who?
I do dev work for Playground.
Word.
Oh
Okay.
shit! My bad.
How's that?
I have to be
Wait a
very
minute. How's that
weird with my
Fable
work.
coming around?
He
Then?
can't talk about that.
I need to know.
It's going good.
Is it next year? It's next year, isn't it? It's coming out. I need it. I need it.
Nah,
Does it look
I got
gorgeous?
it.
Is it?
It looks
Can I
nice.
Can I kick a chicken? That's all I want to kick a chicken. They're better. I need an achievement tied to kicking a chicken like usual.
I can't confirm.
Ah,
Wait, so you you work remote or you're in the States? Is that
All remote, yeah.
okay?
Yeah, all my work is remote. So I do mostly commercial work, and then I work under contract for some things for Fable. So
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's
All right.
so I sometimes I have to be like careful with what I say,
Yeah.
but like these are all my opinions.
All right. Speaking of that, so all right, because I couldn't connect with him when he did when he was putting out Dirt 5 when he was with Codemaster. You think you can get me in touch with David Springate?
Maybe, I don't know. maybe.
Who's that?
He works at Playground now. I think he's a lead over there.
I'm mostly with the design team, so like there's like it's like 20 of us, and
Okay.
we handle the like the UI elements. We bring it to I'm about to get really nerdy, but essentially we handle a lot of if there's a bug, we investigate it, and then handle it with the UI team.
Gotcha. I as much as I want to hear, I don't want you to say too much. I want to make sure you keep your
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm definitely I can't wait to see more of what Playground is doing. Playground is one of my favorite
Super talented.
devs at Xbox. Like, and I don't care if it's all they made was Forza Horizon. So I'm anticipating their next their game this Fable game not only because it's Fable, because it's the first game outside of Forza Horizon, and we've seen what they can do with racing games. I don't think there's nothing they need else to do. Like I don't unless they go like the Need for Speed route with Forza and bring cops into the picture and whatnot and other vehicles. That's the only thing I would want to see probably in Forza, and then finally bring it to Japan and whatnot.
So
But-
real quick, hold on.
Go ahead.
Quick question for 3-bit. So would you say that Fable is Playground's Horizon, Horizon Zero Dawn, like how it was for Guerrilla coming
Like,
from Killzone?
I would say in terms of like expanding the tech, yeah, I would say like the tech that's expanding. I'm just being very careful with my words. The tech that's expanding with Fable is incredible, and it's definitely like the environments and what we're able to push with this game is insane.
See,
so-
stop. See, you should. All right, so my thing is that I wish because I'm looking forward to this, because the thing is a lot of people, and you probably heard this, right? People like, slight Turn 10 and Playground because the games they work on are racing games, and like, well, it's a racing game, the game is going to look good, right? Versus like delivering that into like probably a third person action RPG or something like that, where that same level of detail is going to be expected, and I'm curious to see how that translate to a different genre, to a different character, because when I play Forza Horizon, obviously the landmarks, the land, the environment, everything looks awesome, the vehicles look awesome, but when you go obviously to the people, the detail doesn't really need to be that high, but that's where where if a flaw sticks out, that's where it is. It's like pedestrian. So the fact that they're taking you out of the vehicle, even though this is not a Forza game, they're taking you out of a vehicle. The game doesn't, the land doesn't have to be as fast. You're not going to be moving as fast. So all that data, and I probably don't know what I'm talking about here, but that the stuff that you guys are typically streaming in a racing game isn't the stuff you're not really doing that. I guess there's going to be a different level of detail or a different focus on how the land and the
it's a different level.
Yeah.
Like it's interesting because like you have a lot of these support studios, like Coalition, for example. They are
awesome.
not working on Gears anymore, right? They're doing well, as far as I know, they're doing like other like a new IP. Like they did that demo that was displayed for I think it was AMD, or they had like their own sideshow. Yeah, I forget what the demo was called, but they did that, and then now they're working on like a new IP. And so they're working on that, and then Playground were never really created this type of game before. But you trust the talent. I think a lot of people with developer or studios, they're like, oh, they are only good at these type of games, but the developers, they don't, like, when you're hired to a studio, like you're hired for a multitude of your work. So you could have been working on first person shooters or what have you, and then of course they bring you on and basically teach you how things work, but you kind of work on a lot of different things. You're not just when you join Playground or you join all these studios, these developers, they don't come into a studio just working on just like first person shooter, right? They probably have a portfolio of third person games and first person games, so that does help. Of course, you have the legacy people who has been working on racing games for like 10 plus years, but I just think that people like to put some studios and developers into a bubble.
Yeah.
But that's kind of hard though, because
it is hard because
like
that's
if
all
you're
you build
only
it for,
known,
right?
right, exactly. If you're only known for racing games or you're only known for first person shooters, it's kind of like, well, we need to see if you can actually do this before we can, give you your praise that that you can actually do something else besides what you're already good at. So
Exactly.
And-
yeah,
and-
and I don't necessarily disagree. Like, I just think there are developers in these studios that they can definitely
right,
do a lot
right.
of stuff.
For sure.
And then the other thing is, I guess also why it comes up also is because I think I don't know if it was earlier this year or last year where there was that report that Fable is in trouble because the unfamiliar because the devs aren't familiar with I guess the mechanics are making an RPG since and I was like, well, that doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know how true that was, but I don't know if you remember that report that came out and people were sharing the article. I forgot where it came from, but it was like, that it was troubles with development or have gone through like reboots because they couldn't figure out because they're not familiar with the genre that they're working with.
I'll just say that they're a super talented team.
Sweet.
Yeah, they're super talented, and like the production pipeline for this game is like it's one of the at least the best teams I've been on. So
That's good to hear. Appreciate the insight on that. I am disappointed that they didn't show us any of that any Fable at this year's E3, but there's a lot of games they didn't show us at the Xbox Game Showcase that I was expecting with the new commitment to show the next 12 months.
yeah, I mean that was I was definitely looking forward to some like games that, like, I joined the team after that, right? So like I was on a couple of different podcasts. I was like, I'm looking forward to seeing Halo, for example, and Halo wasn't even at the show. I was like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, but
yeah, it was a bit of a bummer, and it still actually affected me to this day. And I hate saying it like that. Like, I'm still bothered because it hasn't resulted into really anything significant. I know there's still games that come this year that I'm looking forward to, like High on Life and A Plague's Tale and whatnot, which is coming to Game Pass. Pentiment, I feel like I still need to see more of that. It's not my favorite genre. Okay, actually I don't even know what genre that is, but I'm hoping it does what As Dusk Falls did to me and surprised me, right? So I'm not completely counting it out. But you know what I mean? It's just that, I have my mind set on the Redfall, Starfield, which we did get, but it's like, damn, I mean, now I gotta wait when they're already gonna announce that these things are gonna have dates, right? Because you get through that milestone, it's like, okay, so they're all coming down next year. We're going to see them? Are these games gonna have a presence at QuakeCon, Gamescom, or I gotta wait to Jeff Keighley's show? Or is Xbox gonna do something unorthodox like that they typically don't do and actually have I don't want to quote PlayStation, but like a state of play or a direct style and give these games the proper respect and time where they can give that proper blowout and give it that this is your day, and we're gonna give you this game, this is the date, this is the up-to-date gameplay and whatnot, a nice demo that we can see and actually get that release date. Because I've been under speculation all year for Xbox. It's literally just been speculation, right? And I'm just sitting down with my fingers crossed, all right, please let me check Twitter 9:00 this morning. What announcement? And but I don't know. It's been a tough year. I don't know how everybody else feels. For me, and I've been very vocal about that. It's been very tough.
It's been a tough year for
Definitely
so
been a
many
tough year
games
for
got
Xbox.
delayed. Yeah, it's sad. A lot of my favorite games got delayed, and it's just been a delay year.
My most anticipated game just got delayed till next year. So
what was that?
Hogwarts Legacy.
Oh yeah. I told you that was happening. I was like, bruh,
that hurt.
I was so sad when I got
remember
moved
you
to
said that
February.
too. Yeah, I think you said it on your on the last week's episode.
Yeah. I was like, man, that game. I was like, it's like everybody was like, what about Hogwarts? I was like, the game ain't coming out, bro. I was like, as much as I want to hold that, I was like, there's only 2 Game of the Year games, right? And that's it. God of War and freaking Elden Ring, and God of War is pretty much the default because I don't think it's gonna be. You can't. I don't think you can. I don't think that game goes backwards, right?
Right.
So like, so right now they literally gonna have a tough time. I think the hardest thing about Game of the Year, they're gonna have a tough time finding games to nominate outside of Elden Ring and God of War. They literally might have to nominate like something like The Last of Us or something like that. Like I thought, like,
or like smaller games.
yeah, or
like
smaller
The
games.
Falls
This
or
is
something.
why I
Cult
think
of the Lamb, baby. Fucking great game.
is it?
Great game.
Maybe they'll nominate Thymesia, the game that you've been.
Bro,
Really hurt.
I don't know that. So I don't even want to talk about that.
You
from
gotta
last
tell us
night.
about that. Yeah, I actually
Bro.
watched that stream.
That-
Yeah, I was
I don't
like, you know what? I'm about to learn something from Logan, right? Because I was watching, I was like, you know what? Let me see how he's playing this. Right.
I don't play Souls games, man. I don't. It's never been a genre that I've gotten in. I think the Souls game that I played the most was, I want to say, Dark Souls 3. And
Bro.
like I bought Demon Souls, and then I played like an hour, and I was like, yep.
Yo,
this is,
that magician boss been checking his record the
bro,
whole night.
it took me I think a solid hour to beat that boss last night, and that's the first fucking boss. So I'm like, oh, this is the first one that took me this long to beat, and thankfully I beat him on my last try before I ended the stream.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like, oh, at least I beat him. But like, so that Thymesia, it comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
We at level 1, we had a couple review codes. It got reviewed on PC, and then Fame, he asked me if I wanted to do a couple streams on their channel for it. He's like, hey, do you like Souls games? I was like, nah, not really. He's like, well, there's this Thymesia game. You want to stream it on a channel? I was like, like, I looked it up. I was like, I'll try it out, dude. But like, don't expect me to be like a Souls like veteran with this. And but I think that's what made the stream entertaining.
Yeah.
Was that that I sucked so bad at it. But like it was a lot different learning that one, because I don't know, some of the stuff seemed off compared to like the stuff that I have played. So, you know, I did Dark Souls 3, and I did, you know, Demon Souls, and I did Bloodborne. Like those were like the most that I played. So, but not like super heavy, but the most experience that I have in a Souls game. Those, like, you know, they had, you know, different kind of like parries, but like the parries and stuff, you know, generally would stun the enemy from like doing another attack. Where like I was frustrated with this game because it doesn't have that. It has a deflect, and
yeah,
the
which is
deflect
harder,
it doesn't interrupt their attack. It just makes it so you don't take damage. But then they can instantly like do, like, if they're doing like a quick attack, you know, like quick attacks, they can just keep on going. And if you gotta like hit the deflect button multiple times and try to anticipate
What is the
how many
deflect
times
button? Is
hit.
it like the bumper
It's
button?
it's the I want to say it's the left bumper.
Yeah.
Left bumper, I believe it is.
Yeah, you
on,
can't
on
have a
Xbox.
Souls game and you don't have a proper parry system. That's
Yeah,
like,
so like so like that made it difficult, because like I would like in Dark Souls 3, like I would get, you know, the parry system. You'd get like the enemy movements and stuff down, and you'd be able to parry them and like stun them for that amount of, you know, that little bit to get like a couple of hits, and then to get, you know, to back off from them before you go to fight. But dude, that magician dude, he was just fucking relentless. He just nonstop aggressive, nonstop, like no real room to like back away from him. And so like, and there was no way to parry him either. And the other thing I didn't like was like their, like the health system that they had for enemies was a little weird.
Yeah.
Because
Pretty
you would do damage, right? You would do like your normal damage, and it would just do a bleed status effect on the enemy, and then you would have to do another attack to like actually damage the enemy. So you have like a white bar and a green bar, and if you don't do the other attack, I think they call it like your claw attack, in a certain amount of time, they regenerate their whole entire health.
Oh hell no!
Yeah, they don't even heal. They just regenerate their health. So that was like the other thing about the boss. You would sit there and do a shit ton of damage on the boss, but if you didn't then go back and hit them again with the claws attack, they would gain back all that health that you damaged, and then you would have to go at it again. And you like, they had like a buffer time, like, so like if you took them like you could see like the bars, so it'd be like white and then it would turn green on their health meter, would kind of show you. So you had to like really like if you wanted to chunk away at
You had to
enemies'
be
health,
very aggressive.
you would have to like not only be aggressive, but you would have to like pick and choose what you want to attack. So that's what I kind of did with the first boss was like I would damage him for a little bit, and then I would switch to the other attack so he wouldn't heal all the way up. So you kind of like had to be like strategic with what move you were gonna do. But then it was weird because like so if because like if you took the green bar all the way down to the white bar, then the claw attack doesn't do damage on the enemy at all, which is weird because that's the attack that you use to get them to not be able to heal all the way. So I was like, that doesn't really make much sense. Like this attack doesn't do damage unless I damage them with this attack. I thought that was a little weird. And then it also had like a bunch of little like the camera with the analog sticks was really messed up. Like the camera would randomly stick to it would randomly like move to one location. And like I thought maybe it was register like an enemy was there or something like that, but there would be nothing there. Like I'd be like, there's nothing here. Why are you doing this? On? Yeah, well no, not the lock on. It's just the like the camera would just literally move to like the left or the right randomly. Gotcha. Or it would be locked like I couldn't move it. And so like some of the other stuff with the analog sticks, like your movements would be like dramatically slowed down for some reason. So like if I was just trying to even just look around, like impress left or right on the analog stick, it wouldn't go. It would be like really slow, and you would have to let go of the analog stick for it then pick back up and like function normally. So so far it hasn't. I guess I'm saying this is not being the biggest Souls fan out there. Some other people might love it and might take it, but like a lot of the technical stuff really threw me off about it. And like I was learning enemy attack, enemy patterns and stuff, and getting better as I was playing.
Yeah.
But like not having a type of like parry, or you don't even have like a block button, right?
Yeah, that's not...
you can upgrade your dodge to where like if you dodge perfectly, you don't take damage, and stuff like that. And you have that, but you just gonna sit there like I was like sitting there like trying to dodge all of his attacks, but then not get any hits in because I'm like just sitting there trying to avoid it. So like to not have like a parry, is very like I wish they could patch it because that deflect system is just terrible, and there's no real way like with how fast like the movements and stuff was. It was like hard to tell what you were deflecting because you'd only get like a quick little different audio cue when you deflected them, and then you just wouldn't take damage, so you would just not see any damage numbers on you, and that's the only way you would really know. But like if they're doing multiple attacks like rapidly, like it's hard to like gauge. So I'll be doing another stream tomorrow because the game does release tomorrow, 6:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time as well on there. So if you guys are interested in Thymesia, come watch my scrub ass just get wrecked in it because I think that was probably what made it entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, it looked good. It brought me back to like the Bloodborne. It looked like a little budget.
Yeah, it does have like so it has like its gothic style, but it's most like a plague setting, right? It does have like a gothic but plague time setting. So if you're like there's no color really pops or anything like that, and it was like I would probably like compare it to like a very low budget Bloodborne, if I really like very low budget Bloodborne. But there was no voiceovers that I could see really. It was just all text reading, and that's one thing I thought was weird. Like even the bosses didn't have a voiceover, but they so
just
like
make sounds, right? They're like
no, no, it didn't even really make sounds. Like
I thought that dude was laughing at you.
I don't know. It was a bad night, so he might have been laughing. I just wasn't paying attention. But like when I would die, like how some Demon Souls or whatever, like the bosses make like a quirky little like note of how you died and or whatever that you're like pathetic. It would just have a text on the bottom of the screen that apparently the enemy was saying, the boss would say. So I was
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, that's like they don't have like a voiceover like that. It's just like a text that you read at the bottom of the screen after they kill you. And I'm like, that seems weird. So like they skimped out definitely on like any voiceover for that game whatsoever. There's like none in it. And but I'll have to get into it. My goal is to beat it, hopefully.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Like I would be interested in it. But my only concern is like games that are in this particular genre, and then they have like these alternative like objectives that impact the gameplay is what would bother me. Like the fact that there's not a real parry or blocking system, and there's just a deflect, and then the fact that you said you have you have to do another move to ensure the health remains down versus the because like me once I learn like a Souls game or something like that, I'm like, all right, cool, I kind of got the gist of it. But if I have like this kind of this arbitrary like freaking objective to the game, that's what turns me off. That's why I was like,
Yeah.
like stuff like that would like turn me off to the game. Like for example, there's games like and I don't want to say like it's a bad thing, but like for example, I tried to do what is it called, man? It's a Souls game, but you like beat up like robots and shit like that, and you take their parts.
I know what you're talking about. I'm blanking on the name of it. Shit.
Yeah, it starts like
Because they did
that.
two. They did two of them.
Yeah, but I think the alternative thing, well, their quirk was you got to attack a certain part, take that part, and then that becomes a part of like either a weapon or your armor or whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And I like the thing is I actually like the setting and how the game looks. I just didn't like the alternate I didn't like their take on it. So I can never get through the game. But
It's called the Surge.
the Surge, yes, the Surge.
Yeah, Surge. Yep. But because like I've been playing a shit ton of stuff this past week. Let me tell you what, dude. Cult of the Lamb. I don't know who's all gotten to play that here. That game though is definitely worth the $25. I played it literally all day Sunday. That's all I did was play Cult of the Lamb. And that game had
roguelike.
Well, see, like I'm not a fan of roguelites either, but like the way that they have this one set up is actually really accessible, and it does have like a difficulty option, so if you can lower that stuff if you want to. It doesn't really affect anything other than the difficulty.
Yeah.
But this one's a little bit more I think it's more accessible to people than say like what was the one big one?
Hades.
Yeah, like Hades, Returnal, stuff like that, because it's not like you don't have to play the whole entire game in one go, right? You go in there's like 6 different sections, and each section has like 3 different little mini bosses at the end of it that you gotta like beat. And then essentially if you die, and they're not super long levels, right? Like you could go through, I think like if you successfully went through the level, I think my play time was like 10 minutes to get all the way through it. So like they're not super long. And then you'll go through and beat a bunch of mini bosses, and then finally like unlock the last door to then get into the main boss. But like every time you are successful in that attempt, your progress is saved, and you go back to like your hub world, and you can farm different resources or go fishing or do a whole bunch of different activities to build like your cult up. And like that part, like I like because it's essentially like that part's like all like Animal Crossing like so you can build different structures. No, like not it's dude, like trust me, like when I say Animal Crossing, I'm just like, because you can like put like plants down, like grow food for your cult. You can build different structures, do ceremony. You can assign people to like farm for wood or stone, or like essentially like they just or you can assign them to like pray, and you get like they pray around a shrine, and you get points to upgrade like your cult and everything like area. And you can do a whole bunch of stuff outside of that versus just the main like going through the levels and stuff. And you can, dude, it's so good. It's so good. I can't dude, I'm so obsessed with it. It's so great. I've actually been naming all of my all the people that I get in my cult. Like I've been naming them all my Twitter peeps. So like I had Dope as J was in there. Sad Boy died. Neo died.
Damn.
Like I'm like name Smooth. You're about to die because you're old. Like, but you're my most faithful follower though. I will say that in the game.
Wow.
But like then like your cult members, dude, they have like such a personality to them. Like there was this one, and they'll give you like little missions that you can do inside like the camp. And like one of them was like I had to make a poop bowl and I had to force somebody to eat it.
What the hell?
So like, cause like your sheep and stuff, they'll like shit around the map until you can build like an outhouse. But you collect that shit and you use it as like fertilizer and stuff to make your plants grow better. But you can also cook the shit and make like a shit pie. It's like a poop pie. But yeah, I had one person sent me on a quest to give. I think I had to. Nick's not in here. Nick was the victim of the poop pie. I had to give the poop pie to Nick, and it made him sick every time. So I had to put him on bed rest. And then they'd come and they laugh about like, oh, that idiot, he ate that poop pie. I can't believe he did that. And then like there was like another one where this person's like, hey, this cult member, they're not faithful. You need to investigate them. And then like there's like a mission to like sacrifice like one of your cult members just because another person wants you to. Like so and then there was a I made one of my sheep was Jay Bari. He was the first person I had to sacrifice because he was just he even said like the sheep was like, hey, I'm getting old and I think it's my time to go. But if you look at like their stats, like some of them want to be sacrificed because they think it's for like the cult. Mm-hmm. And so Bari was one of them, so he was all happy to sacrifice. Dude, it's fucking like the soundtrack's so great, like the art style is really unique. I think it's one of the more unique games that have come out this year. And so like I'm obsessed with it. It's great. Shout out to the devs. It's a great game, and I think everybody should try it out and play it.
You made it sound very, very interesting.
It is, man. You just need to watch some gameplay. And like I said, it's $25. You get your money's worth for sure with that. And like the combat's actually really fun too, because you can like when you're going through the levels, you can go different routes. And different routes it'll show you what's in that next level. So it'll say like, hey, there's resources in this next area, or hey, there's a cult member that you could recruit in this new area. Or if you want a more powerful weapon, it'll show you kind of what will be in the next area, and you can kind of pick what you want to go to up until you get to the boss fight.
Yeah.
And then like I said, like when you get to the boss fight, if you die, it's really not that big of a deal since the levels are so short. All it does is it kicks you back to the main hub and you lose some of the resources that you did gather. And then the other aspect of it is then like when you die, like out there in the field, like, you know, the levels, like your cult, it gets like scared because like you died, you know, you weren't successful. And so you can kind of manage like their faith meter. And so like depending on, as long as you're like keeping everybody fed, you know, having like successful runs and stuff and doing like certain missions, your faith meter will either go up or down depending on how successful you are. So if you're like letting everybody starve, they'll start to lose faith in you. Or if you're keeping them well fed, that will go up. Cause like there was at one point I had my faith meter was down really low, and Dope, Jay was one of my other sheep. He ended up losing faith in me, and he was trying to form a mutiny against me. And then so you could lock him up in a prison, and each day you do like a little ceremony with them to like get them back to being faithful and on your side. So like, dude, it's absolutely wild. There's so much to it. It's so in depth, and it's just fun to play. It's just a fun game.
It sounds wicked.
Yeah, I definitely check it out. I could talk forever about that game. I'm sorry.
Nah, I'm because I like that game is not on my radar. I know people have been talking about it. I've seen like small clips here and there, but still couldn't understand what it was about.
Yeah, it's literally building a cult. They're literally Cult of the Lamb, and it's fun. It's just a great game. There is obviously there's an objective. The person that your cult worships, right, wants to be freed. So that's why you're going through all these levels to beat all these bosses, because they're like locked down by these chains that there's like 6 chains, and essentially when you beat the final boss in each area, it unlocks a chain. So your goal is to free the person that your cult worships. And then you're building your cult, which then like there's rituals that you can do and stuff that you can do where you can actually take cult members into the levels with, and they'll fight like alongside of you too. So like you can do that when you get like certain upgrades and stuff. So
there's like a few games where I can like praise and not a lot of people have heard of, and like I'm like everyone needs to play this game. I'll definitely check it out. Sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But like
also Rollerdrome drone that came out I think yesterday is pretty cool.
I'm picking that up tomorrow.
It's like Max Payne meets Tony Hawk Pro Skater, like straight up. Like it's been fun to play so far, so I like that one too. And they did a 1979 sale for its first release.
I'm surprised. I thought that would be in PS Plus. I know.
Well,
you
get a
you
1
get
hour free trial.
Yeah, you get a 1 hour trial in PS Plus, but like I said, it's only $20, and it definitely been worth it so far. What I've been playing.
Well, it's only $20 if you got premium, right?
I think it's if you have any PlayStation Plus.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just.
I know original price
introductory.
is 30.
Yeah, its original price is 30, but I think any PS Plus member, somebody would have to confirm elsewhere because I have premium, so I can't really tell.
Right.
But I believe it's anybody that has PS Plus gets it at that discount, no matter what tier it is. I think it's just that as long as you have PS Plus.
That's sweet, dude.
yeah, definitely check that one out. I always say like some games that no one has ever tried, and it's like not super big is Inside. I love that game.
Yeah, Inside classic. Yeah,
game is amazing. But yeah, I really want to check out Rollerdrome. That looks up my alley. Dang, $30. Yeah, I get 30 is not too bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'll wait for PS Plus. So Madden came out. I don't know if it's officially out, but I know the trial came out. If you have EA Play or Game Pass and whatnot, I downloaded the trial on Xbox. I played one game. Dude quit. I turned off my Xbox. Yesterday I turned my Xbox. I went to play some more, and my trial ran out. So.
Oh damn!
Due to quick resume, my Xbox I never quit the app. So even though my Xbox was off, it still observed the trial. So I was a little bit disappointed there because I usually get like a good month or so out of that Madden trial. Just so because I try to avoid buying the game until it goes to Game Pass, and I think the last couple Maddens I actually just freaking like bought because I've been on a streak the last 2 Maddens. I've actually had a winning record online. Like people haven't been beating my ass as of late, which is like weird. So it's like if I'm good at a sports game, I will buy it. So
you like it?
Yeah, I like it. It looks good. I like the little new mechanics that they got. And I'm really feeling it. But I think
Quick Resume needs some quality of life features. Let's like small ones. Like Quick Resume is amazing.
Yeah,
they just need some small things in there for multiplayer, I think.
Yeah, dude, multiplayer. Yeah, is like because all it does is like when you play multiplayer games, you just sort of got. I think all multiplayer games are like set up to remove you from the server after a certain amount of time of an inactivity. So it's just pointless in like online only games, really, because it's like you still have to quit out the app. So to really get into anything, because otherwise you'll just be met with like you've been removed from server screen or something like that. But otherwise, like for like games like the games I'm playing like now, like Power Wash Simulator, like I usually like leave mid job, come back after a few other games, and like, oh, okay, this is where I was. And it's improved, right? They made it faster. Games load much faster while in quick resume. You can store more games, unless I'm just haven't been playing big enough games. But I feel like the amount of games I'm able to carry in quick resume has increased. over the past couple updates and whatnot. This was definitely one of my favorite features of on the Xbox Series consoles.
Yeah, quick resume is like just one of those features. Is just really nice to have. It's like besides like my only downside to it is just multiplayer games. I just happen to play a lot of multiplayer games, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can act kind of janky if like for Halo, for example, like if you leave Halo up, and then you quick resume, you like play some other games, and then you go back to it maybe like a day later.
Yeah.
You have some trouble getting into like a match or if you're trying to start a party, it can be like glitchy until you just quit the game and then just restart and all the problems disappear. Those are like just little things. It's kind of I'd expect it's pretty hard for some Xbox developers to figure out how to handle that, but they could do it.
Yeah.
I just imagine that being very hard to solve.
Oh yeah. I mean, you're looking at it from a different lens than what we're looking at it as far as like like when would what could really go wrong and how to solve this issue, especially pertaining to online. But I've experienced the same issues you've had, like when playing like online games where it's like it's really not even worth it to use, since you're gonna have to close or quit the app so you can start over and whatnot. But yeah, it's one of those features where you didn't think you needed until you got it, right? It's like,
Yeah.
And I remember being impressed by the original Xbox resume play, where it's just one game, right? You go into you went into an app where you turn on your Xbox and whatnot, and it would just be where you left off or whatnot. But now going from like multiple games and whatnot, it helped me a lot, especially when I've been playing games like when I was doing like hard games, like when I was playing like Elden Ring, and then I would go out of Elden Ring, go to something else to get the stress off, and I go back and I didn't quit. Like I was I still like, okay, well, all right, I can continue
right
on
at the
from
boss.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool quality of life feature. That and like backwards compatibility was my favorite for sure. And I'm thinking with the Activision deal, maybe they'll think about bringing back some of those older IPs and bringing back the backwards compatibility program.
What is it that you want to see?
Tony Hawk Underground too, like specifically.
Yeah.
There's very few games where I was like, there's like a few games where I was just like, I would love for Xbox to port it, and Max Payne 3 was one of them, and they did it. I was like, yes. And then the last one I had in my brain was like Tony Hawk Underground, like 1 and 2, if possible. So I would love for that to happen. I know there's like rights issues with the music probably, but I would still like it to happen.
Yeah, I remember the eras of Tony Hawk's Underground. Remember, there was a like a series of games that would have like the Underground in the name, and I think Tony Hawk's Underground, Need for Speed Underground, and all that stuff, all like came out around like the same too, like the early like 2000s, where they would because they needed to change the number sequence of the games, because after a while after they got like past like 3 and 4, they was like, all right, we gotta switch it up. But
yeah, that was a good time.
I'm looking, even though a lot of those games, like I'm not sure if Prototype is backwards compatible, right? Or did they make like an Xbox One version and a PS4 version?
That's a good question. I don't think that game is up backwards compatible, is it?
I don't know. I just remember I just remember it being like an Activision like published game. If I'm not
pretty
mistaken.
good. I like the first one.
It was like the multi-plat Infamous, right?
I guess. Yeah, I mean, you could say that. I guess. Yeah.
That's how I looked at it.
No, I really like Prototype. Oh yeah, because they have an Xbox One version, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that was just like a port, honestly. No, believe it or not, there's a lot of these games by Activision, and this is like, see, I'm relying on this acquisition for my own personal selfish reasons. Now, I don't hate Activision, right? I just don't buy a lot of Activision games, and I have a lot of interest in their games. Like so outside of Call of Duty, and I even went on a break from Call of Duty for about like 4 years, right? Like I think the recent one I had, like I don't even have Vanguard. The only reason why I have Cold War is because I lucked into a review code, right? But I ended up liking Cold War and Modern Warfare 2019.
GG.
I think I actually got the review code for that too, because I don't recall buying that. It was just like for 2 years I had access. That was before my channel partnership dropped me. I had access to some Activision games. So those 2 Call of Duties I got just because of review code. I didn't buy Vanguard yet. I want to because I'm interested in the campaign, but I didn't I know it was like $70 and all this other stuff. So once that Activision announcement came, I'm thinking about all these games that they have that I can tell you right now. I don't own any of the Crash Bandicoots games. I don't own the Spyro game. There's a ton of Call of Duties that came out like halfway through the 360 life cycles that I've never gotten, right? Because after a while I didn't buy them every year. I used to like do every other year for a while for Call of Duty before I dropped off the bandwagon completely. And so now it's like, wow, all those games are going to be in Game Pass. And they're going to do some sort of backwards compatibility treatment. They're going to do some sort of FPS boost treatment to some of them, like how they did with Bethesda and all that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
And I'm like,
I think Call of Duty runs at 60.
Yeah, they all run at 60, but I'm just talking about all their other games that that are
people have
just
very
there.
small lens to Activision. Like this whole deal, like I think people just think about Call of Duty and they kind of ignore everything else.
Yeah.
But Activision does have a lot. They have quite a few of amazing IPs on their side for sure.
Yeah, man, and I'm like, and so that's why I want those, because I was like, once I saw that image come up across Twitter, I was like, well, I ain't buying these games regardless of the sale. And I know it sounds horrible, a scumbag of me, but to say that, but I'm like, I can't
like a fraud.
I can't talk myself into buying any of those games, knowing that any week this deal can close. And they put the games in the service anyway. So like I'm holding off. I'm holding on to my dollars. You know what I mean? Until that deal goes through, and then I'm going to reap the fruits of that deal the minute it closes, just like I did with the Bethesda deal. And in some of the Bethesda games I actually did own, but like a lot of the ones like I was able to download a lot of those games and play them and whatnot. So I mean I have no issue with that. So I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully it closes and they, do some special things with it. I guess the crazy thing is like, all right, what do they do when it comes to the showcase? Because, the showcase is named after Xbox and Bethesda. What do you do when Activision's finally in? Is it Xbox, is Bethesda, Activision?
You need like a weekend of shows at this point. With all the studios they have, they need like E3, just multiple days,
or they need or they can just need a quarterly showcase, right?
Because just call it the Xbox event, and then just have everything that everybody got, just like a big
like a
weekend
3-hour show.
Yeah, a big weekend event or something like that. And get your shit off.
Well, technically, right? So Activision typically doesn't have like a showcase. They just have their Call of Duty event. The Call of Duty has the showcase, right? So essentially what they can do is just leverage, like Bethesda has QuakeCon, right? And they show games by all Bethesda studios outside of like id and Machine Games that make appearances there. They can leverage, and that's always going to be in August around Gamescom timeframe, right? You can have your standard Xbox game showcase that occurs in at the start of the summer. That covers a broad range of what Xbox is doing, but there are other publishers like Bethesda and Activision can have their respective shows that can help spread out the year. You know what I mean? I think that would be like better suited. I'm just curious to see how things go down once this deal closes, and then to see what they do next. Because I feel like this was an opportunity thing that just happened. Because I think, if not for anything, if Activision wasn't up for sale, I do truly believe that Xbox would have taken like Crystal Dynamics and Adios from Square Enix, like at like first offer.
Yeah, that like the whole Square Enix thing to me, it was so funny because we were on multiple shows just saying like, I think Square Enix just hates their Western division, and
Yeah.
for them to actually clarify that was hilarious to me because it's like, wow, it was very obvious, and to me that whole deal was like kind of to me it was kind of dumb for them to sell it, and I think because Square Enix currently their IP with like Final Fantasy and stuff, it caters to a certain market. They can of course like make different types of Final Fantasy games. Like they could make some where it's a little bit more open world and more casual, or they can do like more of a tactics type of Final Fantasy, but it's still going to cater to like a certain market of gamers who are going to purchase that game. Like I love Final Fantasy, I'm going to purchase Final Fantasy. But their other studios, their Western division, was more like they catered more to, I guess, the more casual market where they made like Avengers, for example, or and to me, it catered mostly to me. Like those are the type of games I like to play. Not to say I don't play any Final Fantasy games, but if I'm like sitting on the couch and I'm picking up a game to play, most likely it's not going to be a Final Fantasy game. It's going to be probably, let me check out Guardians of the Galaxy, you know. And I always thought it was dumb for them to sell it off because I was like, you guys are missing a whole side of the market of gamers who typically wouldn't play a Final Fantasy game. They will play like an Avengers, especially because Marvel and stuff is so huge. But they'll play like an Avengers, they'll play a Guardians, and then they had like older games like Deus Ex and stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. And you have gamer like you're basically sectioning off a market, and that's why it was weird for me that they decided to sell it, and then they started complaining about their numbers. Like not even that long ago, they're essentially saying that they were not doing super well.
Did those games help their numbers though?
I mean,
I don't think Guardians sold that great. I don't think Avengers.
But did not sell great, or was it more so like their expectations were too high?
Yeah, I mean, Square Enix is known for unrealistic expectations, so
it's hard for me to tell. I thought like Tomb Raider sold pretty well,
right?
But
yeah.
to them it didn't.
Right,
So
right.
I guess it's whatever their projected things was like crazy, and like to me I'll have to research because I can't remember the exact numbers, but I thought like Tomb Raider at least did like, was it 8-10 million?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. And to me, that's very, very good. But they were expecting, I don't know what numbers they had in their brain for a game like Tomb Raider. But I don't know.
What's going on, y'all?
Oh, what's up,
Hey,
Nick?
Hey,
Hey, man.
Oh, what's up, Nick?
I had to jump in on this one, man. Like, they ain't, what's the name of new IP, though?
new IP.
Yeah.
What game?
Gardens of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
wow.
wouldn't consider Guardians a new IP. It's just a licensed IP. I mean, it's I
Yeah,
don't know
but
if there's
that's it never made anything before. Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
but my thing is, but they were riding off the high of Marvel, right? The Marvel universe is popular. You had the
Yeah.
Avengers game the year before, and you have
Yeah.
like the movies and Spider-Man. And
So
everything
whatever
going
Marvel
crazy.
game took off, like,
No, I mean it's like Square. The thing is that Square Enix took on something that they
Spider-Man.
typically don't do. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy for every case scenario was better than the Avengers. It was, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy
everybody
was
liked it.
one of the
Like,
best games that came out last year. And the thing is, I'm just surprised that they got rid of those two, or just those are talent. And yes, I do have a little beef with Square Enix and their treatment of Western studios and what they've done to their Western
man.
studios and how they treated their how they publish games for the Western, where they literally rape these developers. Like, these developers will come to Square Enix, and then they'll put these crazy ass expectations, do side deals, and then leave the developers really with nothing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened with Outriders. Like
Right. Yeah.
the game was actually successful for because there was no hype behind the game, and the game sold pretty well for 2 months, despite being on Game Pass. But you know, it was published by Square Enix. They had other goals in mind that allowed people who can fly to miss out on their sales bonuses and whatnot. Even though Square Enix was able to pocket money off the Game Pass deal, pocket money off the sales, but have these lofty expectations that weren't good enough to meet royalties for people can fly. So it's like I have that. I have my gripes and issues with Square Enix, and you know I'm happy that they.
It sounds like they did that on purpose.
Yeah, they did. That's the thing. It's like because you got to think about Final. I don't care what nobody says, but Final Fantasy games don't sell all that great. Their Japanese games don't sell all that great. They sometimes sell worse than their Western games, and they don't have that same.
That's what
reaction.
I was saying. That's what it's so weird to me because like
I think Final Fantasy 15 sold like what 15 million, and I think 7.
Yeah,
sold-
7 remake was like 20.
Yeah, so pretty great. So I don't know. I can't agree with you on that one.
How much
Nah,
did
if you're talking about-
Strangers of Paradise sell? How much did
I mean, if you're talking about that,
how
that
much
was like
did-
a one-off. Like,
how much did
I
Dragon
would say
Quest Builders
that-
sell?
Ah,
I
that
mean,
is
I don't know
crazy,
about Dragon Quest Builders.
How much
know
did
about that.
Aquapath Traveler sell?
I don't know. That's a
You see, like it's like
well, since it's on Xbox Game Pass, it didn't sell anything.
well, no, but it had to be on the Switch first
It's
for
on
a
the
year,
Switch
and,
too,
and
yeah. Mhm.
Yo, I got another one, y'all. I got a question. Could please somebody tell me how many concurrent players do Splatoon 2 have? Because everybody's saying this game is so popular that everybody should be praising it. And I know Bond is behind this shit because he said this shit a long time ago that it's more popular than Halo 3
yeah.
on PC.
The thing is, says
Remember this?
popular in Call of
Remember, I
Duty.
told you, Smooth, we got to remember these things. You cannot find the concurrent players for Splatoon 2 right now. And you know how big Bond is about these things, about finding out, like, well, Xbox don't reveal their numbers. Well, I can't find the concurrent numbers for Splatoon 2. So since it's so popular, even though it sold 12 million, is it still popular if nobody's playing it? That's the question I got. I want to know this because people just throw that around like it means
Is
something.
it still
It's an online-
popular if nobody's
it's
playing it?
concurrent players, like we
would
do with
say
every multiplayer game that's online. So it's dead, right?
Well,
Well, the only way to garner that
Yeah.
is by looking up Steam numbers, right?
Yeah, let's see how many.
It's not on Steam.
I know.
I mean,
That's what I know.
million.
I know. I'm making
Everybody
that as a
knows.
joke.
It's
Everybody
sold
knows Steam numbers.
12 million.
Oh, he just
But you know what? I have some.
Let's be real. This isn't 12 million people that played it or taste tested it or went to the old
Let's
country
go.
buffet line. This is
Mhm.
12 million people that spent $60
Yeah.
on it.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
already
So now,
big.
hold on,
It's still
I think the
popular,
life-
though.
let me get him because that was a jab.
No.
That was nothing. Now, all right, so let me ask this dude a question. How much did Battlefront 2 sell? And we all know that's dead right now.
Booty Front?
Would you say that's Booty Front 2?
I don't even remember it selling a lot because the game was dead because of booty box transactions.
Yeah, but we base these multiplayer games off concurrent users like we do with like all these other multiplayer games that we say is dead.
According
No,
to the according
That's
to
the
the
health of the
Googles,
community, and because we don't know how much games actually sell on Xbox because of game trash.
according to the Googles, Battlefront 2 sold 9 million copies.
Yeah.
Right.
You know
Yep,
what?
okay.
Something about like so the Square Enix thing, right? With Tomb Raider sold 85 million, and I just looked it up. Unless I'm wrong,
Which
Final
one?
As
Fantasy
a franchise or the last game?
Yeah, which one you talking about?
2000. It says the 2013 reboot sold 11 million. The
Oh,
series
they
as a
said
whole,
85.
the series, I guess all three.
Okay.
Or
I
is it
do
all?
agree-
Is it all Tomb Raider?
I do agree
Like,
with you
it's
guys on
85.
I do agree with you guys on one point. I don't how do I explain this? Square Enix is outside of mainline Final Fantasies and mainline Dragon Quest games, which don't come out too often. Square Enix's regular games from their Western studios sell exponentially multiple times better than their Japanese counterparts. And it's like I remember the original Tomb Raider reboot sold like some amazing number. They're like, oh, but it didn't turn a profit. I'm like, how?
Right, yeah, I remember that. Yep. It was like 30.
And that, and I
13
think at
million.
that time, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's-
You know, companies like CD Projekt Red and City Skylines were a lot smarter because those games were selling 5-10 million without any advertising, and yet these companies that want to sell games, they're spending 2 and 3 times the budget of the game on fucking advertising. That's the only conclusion I could come to.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole situation was weird to me for years, and I couldn't confirm it until that article came out where they were like, yeah, they kind of hated our whole division, and the team's morale was down. I think they literally just hated their Western division. I don't think it had anything to do with the like how good the game was or any of that.
Because I remember the game sold like 1 million in its first like 2 days.
You talking about Tomb Raider?
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
sold like
It's like 14 million.
4
right
million,
now.
and they're like, oh, it didn't reach expectations. Like,
Yeah. So
what game can sell 4 million and not be profitable?
right.
Unless
Yeah.
like you're talking about like the Grand Theft Autos, like you know what I'm saying, like
Mhm.
I'm wondering if it's a people can fly situation where like in their contract they're like you have to sell X amount or else we won't pay you the right amount.
because
that's
4
basically what
million-
happened with people can fly.
4 million copies is 240 million in revenue.
So it sounds like it's just
let's just say you spent 100. You spent half of that in advertising, which would still be insane. 120 million in average. You would still have 120 million in revenue. You spend let's just say you spent 40 million paying the developers. You would still have 100 million. Like, so where did the money go?
No idea.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they be lying.
Who are they paying for marketing? Because
Yeah.
it's not like they need to like have like these commercials playing on TV. Like Twitter is free marketing.
And they usually
I don't-
partner up with somebody with their
Yeah,
games,
partner up with
and
somebody,
get paid
yeah.
that way, so they don't even have to handle marketing.
And I'm sure they're not paying these websites like that much to market their game on these websites anymore like that. So like, how much are they spending on marketing? Were they?
Okay, I got some good numbers. Shadow of the Tomb Raider was the second one or the third one?
Third one.
Oh,
Third
Yeah.
All right, so apparently the cost was 75 to 100 million to make, which is still insane, with 35 million spent on marketing and promotion. So we'll say on the upper end, that's 135 million.
Where you get that from, Bon? What website do you get that from?
I'm
I'm
looking
just
at
curious.
Destructoid.
Oh,
Now,
okay. So it's
I'm
like-
gonna. Well, I would assume that the third game was more expensive than the first game.
Yeah.
So let's just say the first game had a budget of also 135 million. The revenue is 245. So that means the profit was 105 before you're paying developers, whatever. So like, where did this money go?
And it wasn't Xbox? Didn't they pay, or was it
Xbox
rumored
had
that
the
they paid
marketing
100?
rise.
They had
rise to-
100, or they paid 100 million to keep it exclusive or something like that.
Let's see. Xbox.
Right, that's
paid-
why
Said
the
according,
Terminator, they did
according to
that.
Wikipedia, I don't know. Was there?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know
Wikipedia,
how reliable
says
it is. I just remember that.
it made it the most
Yeah, they paid-
expensive game ever
They paid
made.
100 million.
Yeah, it said it was one of the most expensive.
Okay. So this is crazy. Okay, this is crazy, right? Hear me out here. We don't know what the original Tomb Raider's budget is. We're going by the third game, which got to be ball. So the third game is budget between 75 and 100 million, right?
Yep.
Microsoft paid 100. So we'll just say that
That's a wash.
they didn't exactly. It's a watch. That's exactly what I'm using. They didn't have to pay for the game at all. So they paid 35 million for marketing advertising, and they made 240 million on the game in revenue. So they made $200 million.
Yep. They made off already.
Yeah, so then you got to pay your developers or whatever. Like, Where did 200 million go?
Right.
The game
And to
was
develop Final
made
Fantasy VII
by
remake.
free.
That's
Like,
crazy.
Like something's going on.
It
Yeah.
says 100 million was the budget for the reboot, 2013 reboot.
Yeah, it said at 135. Or
hmm
I gotta find it again.
It's
but I
like
think it's-
110 to 135. I see what you're
that
talking
is- Yeah, that's insane.
about. Yo.
Absolutely
Mhm.
insane.
And then like,
It
you
sounds
have
like to
all
me
these
Square Enix wanted to get rid of their Western studios. That's just what it sounded like to me. They made these crazy expectations. They set them up, and when they didn't meet their expectations, they got
That's
rid of
crazy.
them.
Ain't
That's what it sounded like to
I mean,
me.
you know what it said? The only other thing I can think of is this. Is the Yakuza up in that bitch?
Probably not.
Well, I mean, like, I don't need to be an accountant to say, okay, the game's budget's 100 million, and Microsoft paid us 100 million. We paid 35 million for advertising, but sold 4 million copies, which gave us 240 million revenue. How did we lose money? Was Vince McMahon working it? Had to pay off a whole bunch of hoes? Like this does like I'm about to just type into Google. How did Tomb Raider not make money? And then didn't like the games had to be some weight popular because didn't they like make a couple movies as well?
They made one movie.
Yeah, one movie was it was trash.
I mean, unless you can count the Angelina Jolie, but they made one movie off of the reboot.
The reboot series,
That's
yeah,
what
they
I'm
did the one
saying.
movie.
Yeah, and it was
trash.
It was not.
It was
not
trash.
good. That's why you haven't seen it since.
Yeah.
And it's not
Now,
like they were contracted to
when
make.
that
You also got to think about it. Ain't like they were contracted with anyone to be forced to make 3 games. So they all had to be successful for you to make 3 games after you did the reboot. Then you did the second one, which prompted you to do a third one. We've seen games that were supposed to be multiple series literally fell after the first one and never to be seen again.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what these games did not sell up to expectations, but these games didn't like sell to a break-even point.
Yeah. Is that counting just a 23 remake, or is that counting a 2014?
I mean, I'm looking at this like they were upset that Sleeping Dogs sold 2.5 million. They're upset that Hitman Absolution sold 3.5 million.
I'm just trying to think because they also re-released the 2013 Tomb Raider and 2014 for the definitive edition. So is that however many sales is that including that version?
All right, listen to this. Former Square Enix president spoke about how they paid around they lost around 100 million restructuring the company worldwide, halting and scrapping Square Enix Japanese studios, while new studios focused on smartphone games in the US were closed completely.
Yeah, they did make that dog shit cell phone
So
game.
unless their argument is saying that to make the infrastructure in America costed us this amount of money, and then the games we made from making buildings whatever in America didn't return on the investment. That's the only argument. Like, hey, we're a Japanese company. We're going to start setting up studios worldwide. We need buildings. We need skyscrapers. We need this and that. Like, unless they're saying that they didn't make money because of that, then I don't know.
Yeah, man. Mismanagement of funds, man. So that's the only way I see it. But like, I don't know, man. Like Square Enix, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. I know they got like, a lot of fans in regards to some of their IPs. I always say, developers should be wary when getting published by them, because it's like you got to read that contract with freaking Urkel glasses, because
Here's another good article. This was about 2 weeks ago. It says Square Enix feared that Eidos and Crystal Dynamics games cannibalize others' sales. So maybe they were worried about their American studios or cannibalizing their Japanese studios' money.
Yeah, because their American studios is making just as much. Because like,
Yeah.
well,
It says
Final
that the
Fantasy
Western
15.
studio says
Yeah,
that the Western studios and their products have been cannibalizing sales from the rest of the group.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like their
because
Western,
they
their games are selling, man. Also, I don't
That's
buy.
what I say, because they have the West. Not to say like outside of, like Bond said, outside of Final Fantasy, right?
Dragon
Yeah,
Quest-
everybody, all their better games were from their Western studios.
But that shouldn't even be a thing because I'm gonna have to assume that Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, Hitman like doesn't sell amazing in Japan,
Yeah.
regardless if Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest came out or not. They're just being, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, we could obviously tell that they want to sell off their Western division because they wanted to look better for a sale, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I think it's a lot cheaper if they sold off that division, a lot easier to acquire. But I don't know. You guys think Sony would buy them? I think
Yeah, I'm going to say yes
Yeah.
on the
Yes.
fact of because some folk has been getting on Sony about their lack of Japanese games. Buying Square, who just sold off their Western games, is now mainly focused on their Japanese games. It kind of makes sense to me that PlayStation would buy them so they can focus on the Japanese. Make Sony look better on that front, and it's a win-win if you ask me.
But you think, like, do they have to though? Like, or do they just keep paying them for exclusives?
Yeah, keeping them afloat.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, like, do they necessarily have to buy Square Enix if most of their games are exclusive anyways?
I would because these companies are becoming platforms more and more. I would say yes, just to have ammo. I mean, I guess they don't need to per se because they're already getting the exclusives. But there could be that one day where I don't know, maybe Microsoft offers them a bag that they can't refuse. You know what I mean? So
Back to Splatoon real quick. That game sold 3.5 million copies in Japan alone. So yeah, that game's definitely being played online.
Not necessarily true, but
Yeah, that don't mean nothing, bro. You know that. That's crazy.
No, but what I'm saying is it's not just a Western game. That game is selling across the globe.
No, I get it. The unit sales is up there, but like,
And Japanese people will play mobile and will play those games online and shit. So,
I've been looking for the numbers though, Bond. We gotta find
you can
those
look up.
numbers.
You can't find any numbers on Nintendo online. They're still using Windows
That's
98
true.
servers. but between
I think
That's
they
crazy,
upgraded to
bro.
2000, sir. Windows 2000.
But between 3.5 million people in Japan and 8 to 9 million across the West, I guarantee you more than 2,000 people are playing.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's check out those Halo Infinite numbers real quick.
No, you can't go off of Steam, bro.
Oh,
You go off.
They're up to 6,000.
That's
They're moving
Halo.
on.
Come on, man. You get Halo.
24-hour peak is 6,666. The devil
Yeah,
has
but
died.
Damn.
I didn't know.
You can
I
play
didn't know
Halo
this was
for $200-$300 though, bro. Like, why would you go pay $1,000 to play Halo? I don't
Say
understand.
that again?
Like, a person who got a Series S can play Halo. So you telling me
Person with a laptop can
Steam-
play Halo.
Not
Wait,
Halo
wait.
Infinite online. That's great.
Yeah, they can. Halo Infinite's not a demanding game.
You said on a laptop? What, a high-end laptop? Hold on.
No, I just said Halo Infinite's not a demanding game.
It's more demanding than
I could play
that's crazy.
I could play that game on my work Surface Book 2.
No, you can't.
1060.
You can't play it on no Surface. You said,
Really?
oh, you got one.
Nick, you still got a
You got
Surface
a-
Book?
I mean,
No,
it's
I got a
work.
Surface Pro. I thought you had a Surface Pro.
Oh no, book. It's got a GTX
Yeah, you
1060.
can play it on
Like the requirements for Halo aren't that high.
But a 1060, what's the numbers on a 1060 though? Like, what's the minimum requirements for Halo Infinite?
Let's see. I mean, you got to figure that game was also going. That
On
game
Xbox
was
One,
also
too.
on Xbox One.
Yeah,
I don't even
it
think-
isn't
I don't
that
even
demanding,
think
bro. Just to give you a heads up.
play it.
But I didn't know that the
No, you can't
conversation
play it
was
on
like
that
Splatoon's
Yeah,
player-based
the
versus Halo.
requirements are a 1050 Ti.
It's just
1050.
very well optimized. It doesn't,
It's not that it's very well optimized. It's just
So-
it is optimized, but it's not demanding. The game
So
runs
on a
on
1050, you got to turn everything down. All right, I get
no.
it.
I'm
Like,
saying
oh,
the 1050 Ti is what's required. I have a 1060 in that thing.
right. So you think if somebody got a 1050, they like got what they running like 4K or something?
Yeah,
Like, what's going on?
No, you.
No, why would you run a 10? What are you talking
No,
about? You don't,
I'm
first of
just
all,
saying,
you don't
like-
need to run a game in 4K. The Series S doesn't run in 4K. The
Hold on.
Xbox
Yeah, I know,
One-
but you get
the
my
Xbox
point. Like
One
they
doesn't
running
run
this shitty ass potato with a
You
1050.
telling me I can run Halo
Like-
on my PC, dog? Hold up.
Yeah,
bro. I got
What do you mean?
Nah.
Halo Infinite
I got a
runs on a
3050. I I got a 3050. What's
Yeah,
my
you
settings?
you
Of
can
course you can.
Run it
pay at
easily.
1080. 1080.
Smooth
Hey,
couldn't
hey,
run it.
1080. Okay.
Halo Infinite runs on a potato console on Xbox One.
Smooth. Play your joint on your 970.
I don't
guarantee
have a
you
970 anymore. Like, but it
Oh,
would have. It had a
hey.
980 Ti, but it would have worked on that.
Yeah,
That's fine.
980.
Yeah, it would have worked. 980 is like would have been is probably in a like I don't know where it
30
would compare in a
frames.
30. It probably
I mean, I'm literally
3060
watching a
maybe?
guy. I'm literally
1080p. Can I max it out at 1080p 60?
No,
Like,
you
what
can't.
would-
Why are you talking about maxing out? You can't max it out on a Series S.
I
You
don't play
can't
on PC, dog. That's why
You
I'm
can't
asking
max
you
it out on
questions, man.
Xbox. You technically can't max the game out on Xbox Series X. If you want to get
Oh,
technical,
man.
So give me the
That's-
recommendations, dog. Give me
That's
the
a little
recommendations.
cap.
Like I got
Yeah.
a
Well,
I got a 3050. I got an
download-
i7.
download,
not
um,
700.
Drake,
mean-
download GeForce Experience and it will tell you what you can do the game.
GeForce
with.
I mean, this guy's running the campaign at that 44 frames. But remember, 40 frames is believable. All right.
Oh shit, he reaches.
This guy. No, I'm just making fun.
I
of
know
him
you-
when
I
make
know.
that comment. But
Alex,
this guy's
yeah.
running the campaign at 45 frames on a 1060. Multiplayer is less demanding.
But
So
why would
people
you
can
want that?
definitely be on multiplayer on a 1060.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not saying
cool.
they can't, but I guess the original. I didn't know you were comparing Halo's player base to Splatoon. Halo's way more-
No, I wasn't in general because he always.
Okay.
There's something Bond always said when he came on here. I said, I think I said something about Halo
is
3. No,
not
I
a
said something
popular
about Halo
game
3.
anymore.
I said Halo 3 was more popular online than Splatoon 2.
Oh,
And you
yeah,
said
of
it
course.
wasn't.
No,
That was what I
I don't
said.
remember saying that. We're talking about current Halo. When
Yeah, but then-
I've never compared Splatoon
don't
to
even
any
think-
Halo outside of
I don't
5.
even think Infinite was out then. Like I was talking about Halo 3. Like
this
you know what I
guy
mean?
Halo 3
this
was
guy's-
massive.
This guy's running the Halo multiplayer at 150 frames on a 1060.
100 and hey, what resolution?
I have no idea.
Right?
Yeah, 720.
It wouldn't matter if it was. I mean, you're running on a laptop. Most laptops don't have like
That's true.
crazy
That's true.
screens.
I guess, man.
But yeah, that's
No, it's,
Cool.
it's recorded. It's
optimize it
recorded.
really well.
It's recorded in 1080. But like I said, like a potato can run Halo Infinite multiplayer. There's not a bunch like the multiplayer doesn't have a bunch of forests. It doesn't have a bunch of trees. It's pretty much a bunch of industrial areas and flat surfaces. Like the Halo Infinite multiplayer is not a demanding game.
All right, I give you that. So what is a potato from now on? What card and under that is a potato?
Well, the rules on potatoes is anything less than what I have because I upgrade every 5 years.
Damn, that's great.
So that's the YouTube rules. Whatever I have, if you have less than that, then it's a potato. But yeah, I mean, between the Xbox, like the last gen Xbox, the current gen Xbox, and the PC, like, I mean, let's be real. Halo's not popular because anymore because 343 is trash. 043 Studios.
I wouldn't say they're trash.
They're trash.
I will say
They're
the
trash.
management doesn't seem the management. I don't know.
They're trash.
I don't really know what's going on over there.
I mean,
I'll leave it at
Funny.
is co-op officially out yet?
Yeah,
No.
they've been there too long to get them props.
Yeah,
and all that credit.
it's
Shit,
in beta
they
still.
fucking up.
The funny thing is if they would have done what I said, they would have been able to save Halo. If they would have prioritized getting Forge out in the beginning, then they could have just let the PC nerds make all the maps, the modes, the game mod, everything. It wouldn't have been a rush to make content because the PC community would have just made everything for them.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. Like, no, I feel
Yeah,
like
of course, yeah.
it should have been a priority to get it out, given that, like, because the map rollout has been extremely slow and poor, and I think they were going to be relying on the Forge community like they end up doing with Halo. Because Halo, believe it or not, Halo 5 Guardians didn't have a lot of maps, but the Forge was there, and they incorporated Forge maps into
That's
like the
true.
rotations, so it didn't feel like they were like they just had a lot of custom maps to choose from and whatnot. So where in this case, it's like, yo, they're not feeding us with the maps and whatnot at a good cadence, and the fact that we're waiting for Forge, everything's just feel a lot like longer, and so they definitely.
I mean, they're
Times have
recycling.
Times have changed as well. I mean, like, I don't play Fortnite, but every time I look on Twitter, there's, Vin Diesel's a character, The Rock, John Cena. I see Goku throwing 1 billion Kamehamehas on Twitter now. It's like, yeah.
Not only that, but even Call of Duty conceded to like Battle Royale and then was successful with that shit. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you got to go full force with that.
My least favorite thing in development, it's just my view, is when you release a game and it's not finished, and you say that on the roadmap we're planning to finish this game. It's literally my least favorite. It's my pet peeve of modern day development, and then people sort of accepting it because, like, well, it's fine, we'll get it later.
I hate roadmaps, period, when the roadmaps are just like finishing the game instead of like adding to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
that's-
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, oh, here's the roadmap. I'm like, wait, shouldn't this part of the roadmap been in the initial game's development? Like, this isn't the roadmap to extra content. This is the roadmap to like finishing the game.
Yeah. When you have a roadmap to features that it's traditionally been in the game from the start, it's a problem for sure. I have a huge issue with that with not only Halo, because I'm a huge Halo fan, and with Infinite, like, where it's dropped the ball for me was Forge for sure. Just because there's so many, what Smooth was essentially saying. There's so many creative game types that you can make from Forge that would extend the game's life. Traditionally, like, you have people who jump in the game, like, okay, what else is there? And then they see that there's not much, and then they drop off, and that player may never come back. But what Forge does is it extends the life, where you get some really crazy game types of, like, for example, if there was a grapple shot mode where everyone can like swing around the map like Spider-Man, like that would be.
You got to put them PC nerds to work. I mean,
Yep.
Spider-Man has been out on PC not even a week, and you already got people playing as the Kingpin and all kinds of crazy mods, and there's no Forge.
Yeah, and the to be fair, the forge that is seen is the most detailed forge to date. It just sucks that it wasn't at launch. And I was very disappointed in that. And then co-op, to me, was Halo. Like you have co-op, and to me,
The
that
two
is
things they needed: co-op and forge. You're like, oh, we'll get them in a couple years. Like, wait, what?
yeah.
Oh, I'm about to be out. I gotta be up early.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we're not gonna go too long.
All right, Bond, nice.
A lot of disappointments over at 043 Studios. Honestly, I feel that Microsoft acquiring the people that make Overwatch and Blizzard, acquiring id, acquiring all the Call of Duty developers.
Obsidian.
I'm just saying the people that make first-person shooters. I think one of them.
Oh yeah.
Should take over for 043
Kinda.
Studios. They've had enough. They've had 3 games to get the complete package done, and they can either get the single player right. Actually, no, they had never been able to get the single player right, and they've gotten the multiplayer right once. So they're 0 for 3. They're 0 for 3 on single player and 1 for 3 on multiplayer with Halo 5. So yeah, I think it's time. It's definitely time to move on.
I like Halo 4.
Even the worst Halo, it's better than anything.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate. Like Microsoft can't go up to Sony and be like, "Yeah, we'll trade you 343 for Bungie."
Yeah,
I like, but
throw in some cash
Like,
we'll throw in some cash consideration. Hey, Bungie's always been divas, but hey, if you can make a good game. I mean, you really think that Neil Druckmann would be getting away with half this crap if he wasn't making good games?
Right.
I mean, if he was only making good games and not great games, people would be shitting on him. People still be shitting on him, but they only tolerate him because he makes excellent games.
It is true. Even though you called The Last of Us the trash of us, but
I mean, it is.
It's
Funny as hell that they remastered it and now they're remaking it and they still can't fix that melee animation. That shit's crazy. I mean, I don't know if any of you
final product. We haven't seen final product. Give it, might surprise you.
Oh shit! He sound like Xbox.
Might surprise you, man.
I don't know if any of you guys saw my me streaming that game, but it's just like I will post a video to the Discord right now. I need you to watch this. A 26-second clip of the bullshit in this game.
I love Last of Us, but
how I hit you behind the head with a brick, but I get hit.
This game, man. Game's crazy.
And like everybody is like, "Oh, your game must be glitching. This never happened to me." I refuse to believe I'm the only one that's ever happened to.
Nah, them animations was crazy. Like sometimes I would be getting grabbed by what's the name, and I ain't even really named. This is like an auto grab or auto hit. Like it's crazy.
Like the animation, I don't know. I never really got the hate for Last of Us because I haven't seen a game do some of the things it does in it. So I don't know. Like some of the animations that are in that game to me are incredible.
Are you referring to the first game or the second game?
The first one we talking about.
No, I'm talking about 3-bit because he's saying the end because I know that one has incredible animations.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking in terms of game animations. I'm talking about the second one.
Yeah,
I just had a video. I just had a video hit 1 million views.
You did?
Yep.
Is it the IGN one?
No, it's the Jet Set Radio one.
Oh shit!
Oh, well, congrats.
I mean, it's 9 years old, 10 years old, but it's something. Hits 1 million.
That's big, man.
Congratulations.
Congrats. I'm about to say, yeah. Like,
shit, 1 mil. Damn, who got that? Who got that around here?
My biggest video on like Kids Smooth is like 50,000, and my biggest video. Biggest vid on apples and oranges is like in the hundreds of thousands, but nothing close to 1 mil.
Damn, ain't nobody else in it. I don't know. I'll be watching a whole bunch of people, but I don't know.
Well, most videos that hit 1 million are like, are typically like, if it's not celeb stuff, it's pretty much corny. You know what I mean? There's those, rare videos, obviously, that, blow up.
Well, like that chip challenge you took? Oh my God.
Because I gotta head out.
All right, so I'm about to. I told myself I would get 8 hours or more of sleep today, and moving forward. So yeah, we could definitely get ready to wrap up the podcast. I'm just gonna check the chat. I know there was a super chat from Julian Johnson at $2. He says, "Here, fam, I'll contribute to that extra 10 for PS." What do you mean by that?
$70.
Oh,
$70.
Gotcha.
Well, we need $10, my guy, not $2.
But yeah, man, shout out to Blush Red was in the chat, but he wasn't in the podcast. That's
yeah, he tripping, man.
That's
like
different.
Probably scared of Blandrew.
You're right.
All right, so
well, you gonna get Blandrew on here, bro, so he can run.
Blandrew's always welcome, but but Blandrew's always busy. He doesn't even come on his own podcast.
I thought he messed with the Xbox guys, bro. Yeah.
He's not officially welcome anymore. He's been deregulated to like guest, like permanent guest, like Logan. Honorary guest now.
Yeah, but I do appreciate it for 3-bit. Thank you for coming through. You know what I mean? You blessed us with some nice surprising gems. So definitely, all right, Bond. Congrats on the 1 mil. But yeah, man, 3-bit. If you got anything to say, anything that you got going on, feel free.
Sure. You guys can find me on Twitter at i3bit. I'm trying to do more podcasts, but like literally work is killing my soul a little bit. So I try to appear. You mostly find me on Mav's channel.
Yep.
Fun speculation when I can. But other than that, you just may see me just pop up randomly after work, like on shows like this, just be like, boop. But yeah, that's pretty much where you guys can follow me. Thanks for letting me on, and it's been awesome chatting with you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate it. I appreciate your contributions to the show today. Serge Ray, man, come back to Twitter.
Fuck Twitter. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like I said, I'm gonna do a 21-day cleanse, man, and niggas just ain't playing games, dog, and this it just ain't worth even conversating at this point in time. So, but I don't know. You can catch me on PlayStation, man. Serge Ray the Great. If you, I don't know, you want to add me as a friend or something. That's about it. I don't know. I got a YouTube, but it's dog shit, and I know that. But if you want to check that out, it's up there too. But yeah, man, I'm just playing these games, dog. Ain't nothing else to do. Saints Row comes out next week, and after that is Destroy All Humans. So I got a couple things to play this month.
Yeah, embrace the group holding it down. All right.
Well, good show though. Appreciate you for having me on.
No, anytime, Dre. Anytime. Logan, man, I know you got that stream coming up. I'm looking forward to the next one because, like I said, I gotta watch you play to determine if I'm gonna give this game a chance.
Well, like I said, I'll be playing it tomorrow over at Level 1 Gaming's YouTube channel. And it'll be 6:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The game does officially launch tomorrow, so it's kind of like our launch event stream, I would say, for the game. If you guys are interested to check out the review on the website, the clicks obviously help us. We're a small little game site that is, we ain't bought by publishers or anything like that. Everything's just our opinions and our views and raw gameplay from a scrub like me is what you'll get tomorrow for sure. So hope to see you guys there. So don't forget to subscribe to that channel.
Yeah, appreciate it, Logan. Like I said, it was a good stream. I enjoyed it. Shout out to Fame ENT in Level 1 Gaming. And NickBanks, what's going on?
Oh man, I've been catching up with my Apex, man. Pretty much in Naraka. I don't know nobody else that play that game, man, but I'm addicted to it.
I'm gonna try to get into the campaign.
They got a co-op. They got a co-op mode they just implemented on there. You know, y'all can check that. Yeah, when you fight a lot of enemies and some boss fights, but it's just something they just started. I just noticed about it because it was down for a minute, but that's all I've been playing so far.
All right. And shout out to Dread. I think he hopped out of here a little earlier. Sad boy, whenever he comes back. And Chris Righteous, I know he said
he was out
today. So all right, man. I will see you guys next week. I'll see Logan tomorrow.
What happened, real quick, what happened to the podcast moving to Mondays?
All right. Mondays. I was moving to Mondays, right? But what happened was I had moved my setup to the living room. So by doing that, I didn't actually need to move my date, and then the Monday thing would have been a bad idea, right? The reason why I was gonna do Mondays now, for example, for me to do Mondays, right, I would have had to keep my setup in the bedroom, but because I moved myself to the living room, I can't do Mondays because everybody's home and everybody's loud and talking. So it's like, oh damn, well, it wouldn't have worked because of that. Unless so if I would have kept my setup in the bedroom and my wife works out of the bedroom, that's the only reason why I had to move, because her days are now longer and she doesn't get out until like 10 o'clock now. And so it's like
at night.
Yeah. But she starts later, so it was going to impact and Wednesdays is her late day, so that's where I was going to have to move it to Monday so I can at least have it at a decent time and whatnot and not interrupt her work. But since I moved my setup to the living room, I can kind of go on any day I wanted to, but Mondays are now bad because everybody's home, they're occupying the living room and the TV and all that other stuff, and it's like, oh man. So weapon wheels are still technically a little bit harder because it's a Sunday and I'm out here, and it's like I contemplate bringing my stuff back, but then again, even when I just want to play, ain't like I could just stream or hang out in like a party chat and talk if I'm in the bedroom when she's on like calls and stuff like that. So that's why I was like, it was just better to bring the stuff out here.
Gotcha.
But can't y'all believe I'm still playing freaking Power Wash Simulator? I did 3 freaking cleanings this podcast.
Good Lord.
3 cleanings. And this park right here at least took like an hour. A skate park. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Playing Xbox Podcast. We'll see you guys next week.
No, you got to do from around the globe.
No, I'm not done yet. Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I'm out here. Peace.
Just want to make sure we got it last time.
Yo, you can't. You stay catching the